Good evening. My name is Michelle Taylor, and I'm opening our business briefing on team leadership. Along with my teammates Darius Ferguson, Steph Janot, Jonathan Finley, and William Knox, we will dive in and explore this foundational leadership style and its origins and impacts. I will start off by introducing the concepts of team leadership. Then we will review how it contributes to leadership studies and drives innovation. Next, we'll discuss team leadership research, limitations, and challenges. Finally, we will close by exploring the impact of team leadership on today's workforce. Team leadership starts with a different question. Instead of asking what the leader should do, it asks what the team needs right now. Hill's model places the leader in an observation role. The leader monitors the team continuously and only steps in when the team's effectiveness is at risk. When intervention is needed, the leader has two options. They can act internally, managing tasks, relationships, and the team environment, or they can act externally, networking, advocating, or negotiating on the team's behalf with the broader organization. The goal here is team excellence, clear goals, the right people, a collaborative climate, and shared accountability. I'll let my teammates take it from here.
Hey, this is Stephen Janil, and I will talk about how team leadership adds to leadership styles. So, team leadership adds to leadership styles by shifting the focus from the leader as one central person to the team as a functioning system. In Northouse chapter 12, leadership is not only about the traits or behaviors of a former leader, but also about how team coordinates work, solves problems, manages relationships, and adapts to changing conditions. This is especially important today because many organizations rely on cross-functional, hybrid, and global teams. Recent workforce research supports this shift. The Deloitte 2025 Global Human Capital Trends report that found that 73% of the organizations recognize the need to reinvent the role of the manager, while 74% say human capabilities are critically important. Harvard Business Impact also found that leaders are increasingly expected to use AI in strategic decisions, strengthen emotional and social intelligence, and support people through stress and change. Together, these findings show that leadership studies must address how leaders build the capacity, not just how they personally influence followers. Overall, team leaders add value because it gives leaders a practical way to diagnose team needs, clarify roles, improve communication, resolve conflict, and distribute leadership across members. This makes the theory highly relevant for today's workforce. Thank you.
Northouse explains that today's organizations are moving beyond the traditional model where one leader makes every decision. Effective team leadership requires knowing when to direct, when to coach, and when to empower others to lead. Building on this, Matthew and colleagues' research found that high performing teams share leadership based on expertise rather than position. The formal leader doesn't step away, instead, they create the conditions for success by defining the mission, setting clear expectations, providing resources, and developing the team. Delegations become more than assigning tasks. It's giving team members the authority, ownership, and accountability to lead in their areas of expertise. This next leader up mindset allows leaders to shift naturally throughout a project. The leader remains focused on coordination, removing obstacles, and keeping the team aligned, while team members step forward when their knowledge is needed the most. As Northouse emphasizes, great team leadership isn't about making every decision, it's about developing others to lead when the moment calls for it.
Hi, my name is Darius Ferguson, and the slide I will be presenting is the criticisms of team leadership theory and where it breaks down. Northouse states that while leadership relating to team or collective leadership has grown in recent years, there is still a lot of research to be done to understand leadership as a collective construct. Northouse also states many studies have focused on a small set of leadership activities and have tried to fit traditional leadership theories to collectives and focused traditional structures. The study of leadership has been one dimensional, viewing team leaders from the perspective of a single source and dismissing the dynamic aspects that shift with leaders and leadership over time. Researchers are asking for more involved studies to better understand the way leadership can grow within a team. It is also being asked for more non traditional leadership theories and studies that look at multiple sources of leadership. One important unanswered question concerns the leadership style of the vertical team leader in relation to humility and behavior. To conclude, the concept of team leadership is relatively new to researchers, which explains why there is little support for the models and theories. Much research is still needed in this area to identify the best collective forms of leadership based on context, team type, team size, to include multi team systems. Thank you.
To conclude, our group believes team leadership remains one of the most effective leadership approaches for today's workforce because organizations rely more than ever on collaboration, adaptability, and shared expertise. Today's leaders face challenges that didn't exist just a few years ago, including hybrid and remote work, global teams, artificial intelligence, and constant organizational change. These challenges can't be solved by one individual. They require leaders who can build trust, encourage open communication, and empower their teams to solve problems together. That's why we believe team leadership is so relevant. It creates an environment where employees feel comfortable sharing ideas, taking ownership, and supporting one another. As a result, organizations make better decisions, employees become more engaged, and teams are better prepared to adapt to change. Ultimately, organizations don't succeed because of one great leader. They succeed because great leaders build great teams.